What's going on, guys, and thanks again for being here. Today I'm reviewing some budget lights this time. This is the SUTEFOTO TP45, and as you notice, these are RGB lights, but in case you're not interested or don't need RGB lights, they also make the same model TP45 but as a bicolor. So I'm gonna show you guys everything these lights can do, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And a quick disclaimer, SUTEFOTO sent me these lights for me to test it out. I don't get paid to say anything here. This video is not sponsored by them, and all my words and opinions, they are my own. So these are budget panels, but they work very well. Surprisingly, the color accuracy here is pretty decent, especially on a daylight on a 5600 degrees Kelvin. But everything that you see here from top to bottom, everything is made of plastic, including the part that mounts on the stand here. But these lights, they can actually be very useful in case you are a new YouTuber or have a small room, or even set up a little video game thing going on, or even if you want to travel via carry-on with this little package here. So this easily fits on the airplane, no problem. So whatever it is they want to do with this light within a small room, this light can actually do pretty much everything they want, especially that it has the softbox, the grid, everything that you need here. These are 12.9-inch panels with the CRI of 97 and up to 7,000 lumens. I would believe this is actually from a half a meter away. They didn't specify on the specifications. And the CCT ranges from 2800 degrees Kelvin to 10,000 degrees Kelvin, which is a pretty nice range right there, instead of the regular 32 to 5600. And it comes with a total of 310 LEDs, being 160 warm and cold and 150 RGB. And again, this is a kit of 2 lights, and if you need a lot of light spill, each one of these panels, they have a 120-degree angle, and also comes with the 2 soft boxes, the 2 diffusers inside here, and also the 2 grids. And it also comes with these 2 stands here, which each measures about 82 inches maximum in height, or 2.1 meters. And of course, these panels can be powered by 2 Sony MPF batteries, but keep in mind that you need 2 batteries in order for the panel to work. If you want to use just one, the panel is not going to work. And they also come included with the power adapter, plus this little strap here to secure the power supply in place with the stand, which is a nice touch. I would guess most of you guys would probably like to run this light via AC, but at the same time having the Sony batteries already installed here. And the good thing about this panel is, as you can see, this actual power switch here is an independent power switch. So right now I'm on DC, and then we have the off position, and then the AC, which means everything is separated here, which is the type that you actually press and hold. This is what's called the momentary power switch. So undesired current sometimes may be flowing here, which has nothing to do with charging your Sony batteries or any type of battery. So this panels here isolates, is only AC only or DC only, which is a good thing. So you can actually have these batteries here without any danger of damaging your batteries, but your batteries cannot be charged while plugged in here. And also keep in mind that if you eject one of these batteries, the light cannot work. It needs 2 batteries for it to work, like most lights such as the GVM little panels or this one here. They're pretty much the same thing. But keep in mind, if you start to run with this light or do something crazy with it, these batteries, they might get knocked out of here because, you know, as you can see here. So it only features this little lock here, but it does not have the actual lock thing that you actually press the button there. So if you're looking for a budget panel that does everything that you want except the whole metal fanciness here and everything, check this out. Everything that you see here, I mean, prices, they change a little bit more or less on Amazon, but you're talking $189 right now at the making of this video, plus an additional $40 off coupon, which is going to bring the price all the way down to $150 right now. So, you know, can't really complain about a little plastic knob here and all, which, by the way, when you actually operate this knobs here, they don't feel wobbly too much, or when actually dial, you actually feel the actual clicking thing here, as you can hear. So, and when it stops, the numbers, they don't change weird or anything like that. So as you dial this thing here, it responds properly. And the little controls on the back here, everything is self-explanatory. This one controls the intensity, this one controls the RGB, saturation, or color temperature and all. You have this button here to control the group and channel. This one here is the effect access. This one is the CCT, and this one here is the RGB. But I'm assuming most of you guys are going to be using the app anyway. So to download the app, search for the SS LED video light, either on the App Store or the Google Store. And for that price, they also include this case for the light and everything else, and also this one here for the softbox. On the outside of this case here, as you can see, everything is made of a very nice fabric. It's quite rigid and everything, but don't expect to find any padding whatsoever inside this bag here because they are not padded. So these lights, they come with a little bubble wrap here, which I would save it and put the light with the bubble wrap and stick it in here. And in the front here has a little zipper that holds your power supply, the power cord and everything. I wish this bag was a little bit bigger, so if you actually want to stick the softbox actual bag here, it doesn't fit the way it is right now. But you know, just a thought, because this whole thing is sold as a kit anyway, they should actually have made a bigger bag here so you can actually fit everything instead of carrying this and carrying that. And inside this case comes with everything, comes with the actual softbox, the actual front diffuser, and also even a grid they include here. And this softbox here, look how rigid this thing is. Actually pretty impressive for the price of this whole thing costs. So this is actually the way it mounts here. So you actually velcro this thing here and mount it on the light. It is extremely easy to use, and again, look how rigid this thing is. Alright, so here's the quick demonstration of the app here. It's called the SSLED. So right now you see 2 lights, but over here you see 5 lights. It's because I have other SUTEFOTO products, and just in case you are interested in the tube lights that they make, the actual link to the video is right here if you want to check it out. And as you notice here, each light has a particular ID, and the very top here you're gonna see a orange link kind of thing here. So one of these lights, they're connected, I have to check it out. If you have multiple of these lights here, a good idea is to stick a piece of tape here on the back of the lights. So find a number here that's actually different than the other number. So the BL2EBD and then BL2DB3, for example, you know, just put a little sticker there or something, and then you'll be able to identify whatever light is what. And this application also allows you to control the lights together or separate, but I'm sure most of you guys don't care about the group, because if you place a light as a key light, a head light, and background light, each light needs to be controlled differently and separately. I think controlling the lights separately is a much better idea. And if you want to add more lights, on the top right here where it says add device, simply tap on this button here, and if the lights are on, they're going to be automatically populated here, and then you click add to my devices, and that's it. So let's see which one I'm connected here. So connecting here, connected. So right now is actually this one here. Good. So you can actually go from 0% to 1% all the way to 100%, but the cool thing is they provide here is the minus and plus signs. You can actually precisely do 2, 3, 4, 5%. So you don't actually have to fight with your finger, try this motion here to adjust to 17%, 19%, you know, just tap on the minus and plus here. Now on the very top here, as you can see, apply to current device or control channel 1, group A, all devices. You don't need to mess with none of this stuff here. Just ignore either one of this here. To control these lights separately, all you have to do is to set them to a different group or a different number or different channel, whatever that is. So even if you want to leave everything as group A, as long as you set this light here, for example, to channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, you can actually control each light independently and without any headaches, which I just did here. So this one is actually channel 1. Go back here. Let's do the other one. And then this one here is the actual light that's being controlled, because it's set to channel 2, is the same group A. So if you want to go back to the other light right there, just tap on the very first one, and there you go. Now the good thing about this light here compared to the GVM lights is because on their applications, the MAC addresses, they keep moving. So when you go back here, this light is no longer the one on top. It actually switches to whatever order this thing appears in. So this application here is not going to give you that problem. So again, you click on the other one here. I gotta show you this again. And this is the actual light you're controlling. Come back here, tap on the top, and then this one here is the actual light you actually control. It's that simple. And this app works, it doesn't crash, it doesn't freeze, it just works. And over here, of course, you can actually control your CCT and the intensity and all, the color temperature from 2800 degrees Kelvin, as far as I remember, all the way to 10,000 degrees Kelvin, and it responds very quickly, as you can see. And one very cool thing about this light, even for being a super consumer product, this also has the green magenta compensation. So if it is a little magenta, you actually turn down to the green. If it is a little bit too green, turn up to the magenta thing. As you can see, the colors changing there, which is very nice feature here. Then you have your HSI, which is self-explanatory. And on the RGB CW, you can actually have only red, only green, blue, and of course you can actually mix and match the colors here to whatever color that you like. You can also have the daylight only or the warm lights only. And then you have the effects here, the police light, which also you can actually do the not only the intensity here, but the actual frequency. So super slow to super fast. So this app here you can actually do in Chinese language or English language, and some messages here, they somehow remain in Chinese. If you don't know what that means here, every time you see this message, it says device disconnected, please make sure the device is back online, which in Chinese is 无法停止设备，请增加设备是否代谢. I know some Chinese, which I'm very proud of it. I actually learned by reviewing all the slides and talking to all kinds of manufacturers. Pretty cool. So I brought one tube light here for you guys to see. So this is actually assigned to the same exact channel and group number this one is here. So actually when you up the intensity here, you see that both lights are doing the same exact thing. And let me turn this around here so you can actually see this hitting my face right here. Then you go here on CCT, everything changes to whatever color temperature you want, the green magenta compensation and intensity and all. And then if you want to set this light to a different group, everything's going to be separate. This one here, this one here, this one here. Again, this one is together because it's on the same group and channel number. Now here's one thing that I really appreciated and I'm actually very impressed. So you have a tube light and this is actually a light panel, right? So they have different LEDs. Sometimes they import different LEDs, whatever the case is. I've seen many times of the same brand, this light here and this light, when it's set, for example, to a 5600 degrees Kelvin temperature, for example, the color temperature is completely different from this one to this tube light right here, which is not the case right here. As you can see, the light that's actually hitting my face on this side and this side here, the color is identical, at least eyeballing. It looks pretty good on camera there. So everything is set to 5600 degrees Kelvin. Same thing with the camera, 5600 degrees Kelvin manual, and this is the colors that you're actually getting. So that alone, big kudos to this company here because, again, a tube light and a light panel here, you have the same, pretty much the same color and the same everything. Let's go all the way down to 2800 degrees Kelvin. Pretty much the same thing as you can see there. So the whole spectrum of it, I'm going to ramp it all the way up to 10,000 degrees Kelvin. And it also should be the same exact color, which I find it pretty impressive for a light of this price. Because this is actually inexpensive. This is $119 and this thing is like $189 for both of these lights. And here's your green magenta compensation all the way to both extremes here, all the way to the magenta. When you go back to 0, here's like one less magenta, which is towards the green, and then plus magenta. So you can actually tweak the color to match, other lights, to very gentle like this, all the way down to the extremes here. Now the tube lights that I just showed you here, when you set that tube to 1%, the actual brightness is very dim, which to me is very useful because I can do time exposure and also long exposure, whatever it is that I need, just a little bit of light. That 1% is actually very useful. So this light right now is set to 1%. As you can see, I can't properly expose the actual LED bulbs right there because it is a little bit too bright to my taste. I wish this panel was as dim at 1% as the tube light was. And here's the part that matters most, what the lights look like in front of a subject. So right now I have this light here as a key light without the grid, and this one here with the grid. And this is what it looks like here on an interview set. And then I can actually buy another 2 of these lights for a hair light and a light on the background there, or one of those tube lights, which they all get controlled with the same app. So this is actually looks like here. They're both set to 5600 degrees Kelvin. So right now I'm gonna kill the behind the scenes because I need the iPhone right now to use the app here. So right now I have this light here at 1% and requires about 22% for this particular exposure here. Right now I'm using a lens with the Canon 24-105 set to f4, which is the widest aperture this light has. The ISO is 850 and the shutter is 1/90th of a second. And another thing that I actually like about this light here, especially for being a consumer product, you notice that the exposure doesn't change a whole lot here. It keeps consistent through the whole thing except the very extremes here. From 3200 all the way to like 9600 or something, the exposure is the same. It changes just a little bit. It doesn't do this. Now the other light is currently set to 0. Depending what you want to do, you can do just a little bit of a fill like this here, to as flat as you like. Especially for makeup videos, you probably want everything as flat as, equally as flat. If you set this light to 23%, you have a slight light loss because of the grid. Kind of, makes the light a little bit smaller. So you have to compensate here, of course, if you want, like, equally lit from both sides. So it's gonna look like this here, around 47%, something like that. So to install this thing here, there's a Velcro here and a Velcro on the other side. All you have to do is to set it up like this here. There you go, your softbox is set up. And where the logo is with the Velcro is facing up, it's a good idea for you to actually slightly put the light on an angle, which is easy for you. So I'm actually gonna be doing this in real time so you guys know how easy this is. So put the softbox right here. Velcro right here. And that's it. And then you actually align here to fit exactly within the box here so you don't leak any light right here, right? So you can actually move left and right, top to bottom. What you don't want to do is to actually have the softbox like, in this position here. You gotta make sure it is totally in the front of the actual panel, and this is the actual correct setup. Make sure the other side is the same thing. And this is what it should look like. And of course you can actually use the grid with or without the diffuser, which by the way here it is. But what I see a lot of people doing wrong, especially the consumer or the newbies, because they're gonna attempt to install this diffuser all the way on the edge here, in which is the wrong place because the grid's gotta go here. So some space is required for the grid, right? So what we wanna do is to actually mount the diffuser right here inside. So actually hold it with your finger this way, stretch it as much as you can here. Make sure you are just using whatever it's enough to take the diffuser, and then again stretch it again, and then shape it with the softbox here. Nice and clean. Same exact thing here. And again, bring the softbox back to shape. As you can see, it fits perfectly. There's no extra space here. The softbox actually accepts the entire diffuser here as it should. Now the grid here, under any circumstances, should you actually remove starting from the grid itself, because you're gonna be ripping this whole thing out, right? So always start from the actual main part here, this way. And then stop, there's a little cutting here. So again, then stop, continue here, stop, and there you go. Now to install the grid, as you notice, this is actually shorter than the softbox, so you want to be placing in the middle here. You stretch it all the way, mount it this way here, press with your fingers. Same exact thing here, stretch it a little bit. There's a little space here between the each side, right? So same exact thing here. I'm doing this pretty fast for the video. It can be even neater than this, but as you can see, everything is nice and straight. And again, to remove, start from the edges, never from here. Remove this, very simple. And to remove the softbox, just unvelcro from underneath here. The whole thing is out. And to fold it, it folds this way here, and then this way. Now regarding the diffuser here, is very important. Doesn't matter if it is this one here or any soft boxes that you have. It is very important that you actually wash your hands thoroughly with detergent if you can, to make sure your hands are clean, because if your hands are dirty and you start to fumble with this thing here, you're actually going to change the color temperature, because it's not going to be remaining white as it should here, right? So you want to fold this and preferably put this back on the little plastic here, seal it up. This is the best way to make sure your diffusers are clean and always white like this. Now to fold the grid, just follow the natural way the thing is here. It's self-explanatory. But if you actually have large grids, don't let it touch the carpet, because you can actually damage the grid, and also other things can actually attach to the Velcro here, which gets pretty disgusting. So now the stand that comes with this unit is much better than an Amazon basic stand as a reference, and also appreciate the little powder coating they have here. You can actually hear the finish. So it's actually a very nice and textured finish here. And these knobs here, everything is made of plastic, and I also found out that you don't need to over tighten anything. So you actually open the stand this way, right? Best idea is to actually use your thumb this way, and look how easy it opens, how easy it closes, how easy it opens. And then all you have to do is to tighten, and also make sure you don't use the stand this way, because I see a lot of people doing this here, which actually makes the light unstable. So make sure you actually let this be flat this way here, as you can see here, and then you tighten just a little bit, and when actually force it down on the floor here, this is not going anywhere. So which is pretty good. All I did was just a little bit of a turn, no need to over tighten, because you might break this. So again, this is actually tight enough here. And the same thing applies over here. There's no need to over tighten anything. You just set up the height that you want here. No need to over tighten. And these lights here, they weigh nothing. So even if you tighten a little bit more here, when you actually put on the floor here, this doesn't actually collapse any way, shape or form. Unless you use a lot of force, and then it will collapse a little bit. But as you can see, it's pretty sturdy. So it's completely loose. And then you just feel when it starts to get tight. There's a little bit of a turn. And this is not going anywhere. So I think this stand here is actually pretty decent for what the product is. So if you exercise a minimum of care with the stands and everything else, your equipment is going to last a long time. And by the way, these light stands, they're super light, which can be actually very convenient for lightweight, especially if you are, hiking or whatever. But I would say most of you guys will probably want to use this indoors. But again, this is a very light stand, so put some sandbags if you try to avoid liability of some sort, or if you don't want the wind to actually knock this over. So alright, let's do a little test here with this little stand that comes with this product here. This is a super heavy professional 2x1 panel, and as you can see, my arms here, that's how much weight this thing is. Look at my veins here. This thing is super freaking heavy. I'm gonna actually mount this panel right here. There you go. The light stand is actually holding the panel, it's not going down, and I just tightened a little bit, so this is a very nice little stand. But of course, don't attempt to use this stand with this panel here, because that's the dumbest thing to do, right? You want a C stand for this. I just want to show how tough this little stand is. This whole thing here is made of metal, and it weighs about 20 pounds or 9 kilograms. So that's my review for the TP45. I hope you found the contents of this video helpful, and if you want to use the affiliated links that are provided in the description here, I receive a tiny little commission from Amazon, but these links don't cost you anything extra, it just supports the channel. And if you have any questions, you know what to do, drop them down in the comment section. I respond to everything that I see there. So once again, thank you very much for being here, and I see you next time.